Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday morning to you. I hope that your day is going well. My day is going great. Got to sit outside here for a little bit and film some Bible. My house is occupied, and so there's not many places to film. And I'm like, can I come outside? It's always hard because we moved in here. It was quieter outside, I think, when I first started filming outside. But then this church right here, which is awesome, I'm very thankful, it grew and got much larger because our area is growing and much larger, and there's a need for people. Well, they built this big giant sanctuary behind right here by our backyard, and I was like, that's fun. And then I noticed there's like 6 air conditioning systems on the back, and I'm like, oh, that'll be louder during the day. Well, then I realized, oh, they gotta have the air conditioning on all the time because otherwise it gets yucky. So it's a little noisy, and I'm like, well, we got our pool on, we got people, but there's no wind, so the microphone should be good. And I thought, I'll try to sit out here and film. The only problem we get in our life is squirrels. Maxine, she wants to follow me, otherwise she'll sit at the door and bark all day long. So I let her out here, and then, I think we stopped filming 5 different times because the squirrel was jumping through, and I was like, all right, Lord, let the squirrel pass on by. But I did see a cardinal. That was beautiful. Like, here we go. Here comes the squirrel. He's coming back. So I may have to stop for a few minutes, and that's okay. I'm learning good patience today. All right, I'm back. That was a long intermission. The squirrels, the birds, they're coming back, but that's okay. It means there's life. That's a beautiful thing over there. So she's watching intently as long as the squirrel stays away. Maxine, poor dog. Got myself a cup of coffee, so that's a good thing. So that's what I've been doing this morning, sitting out here filming and getting a few things set that I have to do for my other Bible channel and for my weekend encouragement as well. So I have a little bit of encouragement for you. I like to do scripture, and it's Proverbs 9:10, and it says, the reverent fear of the Lord, and that is worshiping him and regarding him as truly awesome, is the beginning and preeminent part of wisdom. It's the starting point in its essence, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding and spiritual insight. And I think what I like about that is that, that is the beginning part of everything. Like, once you know that God is awesome and that God is for you and not against you and that he is good, that's when you can start things in your life and have him bless them, prosper your way. The relationship can go smoothly because you understand that he's not going to take advantage of you, that he's not going to hurt you, that he's not going to inflict bad things on you, that he is actually a good God and he's going to give you the wisdom. So understanding that principle is like the beginning of everything. So for me, I thought today we'd share, I thought, let me do a little bit of my story of losing weight at 50, okay? And so I have done where I've had 10 kids. If you don't know that, I've had 10 children. I have gained a lot of weight with all my children, well up to over 200 pounds each child. So well over 60, 70 pounds gained, not with every single one, but definitely my last ones. And so I think it was with Madeline, because we had a baby every year and a half. So that was my life. And so we would get pregnant again. So it was like finally with Madeline, I was like, okay, I need to lose some of this weight a little bit. And so I did. And it was work, but it wasn't terrible. I had my 3 meals a day and some snacks. I would have oatmeal in the morning. I do a testimony how I lost over 3 dress sizes and I don't even know, 80 pounds, whatever it was, years and years ago. Okay, so I did it twice because I lost it after Madeline and then got pregnant with Steven and then gained the same amount of weight. Even though I exercised, it felt way better. It didn't overeat, it just gained weight. That's just how it was when I was carrying babies. They needed a good base to be in so they can be healthy. And then lost it again with him. And so I have I'm pretty sure I did a video on it. It was when I blogged, so I did a blogging thing on it too. But that was when I was younger because Steven he's 13, he's gonna be 14, and I am 50, so that was many years ago. So the approach I took was like, I walked for only about 45 minutes to an hour every night. That's what I did. And I ate, like breakfast, I would have oatmeal and some fruit. Lunch, I would have cabbage vegetable soup. I ate a lot of that and some veggie sticks. And then whatever dinner we had, I just had a little version of it. Okay, and that was great for that time. Now, go through my life when I'm like 45, or well, it's probably been the last, hold on. All right, we'll just blame Maxine. It's her fault. We could be outside, but no, we cannot be outside. The squirrels, it's nice because there's a lot of cardinals and stuff appearing outside. I'm like, look at all those birds out there. So anyways, okay, let's go back to chit-chatting here. We'll just do it right here in the living room. I just wanted you to get nice outside. It's probably a lot easier to hear in here, but anyways, so then I'm 50 now, and I'm going through perimenopause, And we've lived here for 3 years. It was kind of about the year before, a couple of years before we moved here. So about 5 years ago, I'd be about 45 years old, is when I noticed changes in my body, like where I was feeling different. I know stuff started feeling different inside of me, and I know like mentally things would bother me that they never did before. And I'm like, this is weird. Now, a lot of people stay informed on the internet. I do not. I am not a scroller. I have been, but I'm not one that I was on there doing things all the time. So the whole world of menopause did not even get in my radar like that. That's what I was going through. And so now looking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I was going through. That's when it began. I knew when it kind of switched. They talk about the hormone levels changing and all these things. I can tell that. Like I remember when I was a child at 12, 13, and I remember like, starting your period for the first time. And I remember feeling that like craziness, like a little bit inside, like that, like something changed. You know what I mean? And so hormones. And so not craziness, you're not crazy, but just feeling that change in me chemically. And I was like, that's weird. That's a really weird thing. And I remember that a few years ago, I just didn't understand what it was until now that I'm informed. There's lots of stuff online. Oh, that would be what I'm going through. So going through perimenopause. And so over the last, I'm going to say 3-4 years, I've slowly gained weight and on my body, and it's not coming off. And so it was one of those things where, okay, and then I would eat better. I would eat less. And I was doing the same things I did before. I would walk a lot, and I would be like, okay, nothing is happening. It would just keep creeping, and I was getting so frustrated. I was like, what is going on? And I'd, vow to do good. And then I would have my cycle, and my cycle, you get your cravings, you get your things. So I'd have that, usually once a month. Well, then mine was happening every couple months. Or every couple months, twice a month. So you would feel the same symptoms and feelings and cravings twice a month. And then I wouldn't have a period at all, but I'd still feel the same things without even having it, which, understanding all this stuff is weird. So it was just a constant cycle of things. Now, for myself, everybody, you do what you got to do. I am sharing my testimony and what has worked for me. I've listened to other people, heard from people that take hormone therapy, who do different things. I've talked to friends that do different protein-based diets and all these other things. All good things, all great. I got lots of good knowledge and wisdom watching this level, watch this level. And for me, I'm like, it's kind of like when I was having kids, it's like people are like, you have to have birth control, you have to do this and that. And I always thought that just doesn't seem natural to my body. This is me personally. And so I'm like, why don't I use my body the way that God intended? This is me again. And it was having children. And then by the time I had Stephen, it was like, he just said, no more, you're not going to have any more. And we didn't, and we have not had any more. I had a miscarriage after him, and I'm like, that's weird. I even got pregnant, Lord. I'm like, I knew I wasn't going to have any more. So like for the menopause approach, as of right now, I'm going to do just asking the Lord, seeking him for what I need to be doing for me. This is me. This is what I'm going to do, not for everybody. I'm just sharing my own testimony. And so I would go about it and do the walking. And I feel like I was doing a lot of walking here in the last couple of years, where like a bunch of times, and I'm like, and I would not see anything, but it would just stay very much the same. And I'm like, why? Oh, sorry, Maxine. Like, why is it just the same? And I would do better eating, and I would cut things out, and I would do this. And then, it was just like an up and down roller coaster. There was even times where I took a week-long fast and didn't eat anything, or, just had water. And that seemed to like reset me. And then, and it was fine to do, easy to do. I didn't realize you could do a week-long fast. You can. I did 2 of those. And it still filmed, still functioned, still did everything in my day. And it was more like to get rid of a lot of things in my life that I was doing and food-wise. And then it's like you come back, and then it's like habits and thoughts resurface of life, because it's life and you're menopause and you're going through these things. And then it's like, ooh, I want to have this. And then you just fall into that whole yucky spew again. And so this is what my recommendation, because I feel like the first 10 pounds are the hardest, the absolute hardest, because you got to get yourself at 50. When you're younger, it's a whole lot easier to lose, I have found. Not for everybody though. So, some people can just do like cut out soda and they drop weight. Stop drinking coffee, you can lose weight. Okay, those things probably do work very well. For me, I don't drink. I stopped drinking coffee creamer. I did a little bit here and there, but like, so that wasn't really an issue. I don't really like sugary drinks. I don't really like sodas. I usually drink water. So that wasn't an issue. It wasn't like, oh, just give up this and you'll drop the weight. So that probably is the case for a lot of people. So if that's something you're drinking, a lot of sodas, that kind of thing, cut those out, find yourself a different alternative. That will help as well. And so for me, the number one thing, especially going through menopause, is what I've been reading online and seeing different things at different people. You can work on that weight loss, you sure can, but you got to get right here, the number one, the mental, because that is the most important. That is going to be the driver for everything, because you can work on your body and you can work on doing all these things, doing great, and then you have those days where the enemy just comes and attacks those thoughts in your head, and it just like reverts you back, and then you want to go for your plastic cheese and saltine crackers or your bag of sweet potato chips. Those are my favorites. Or yummy bread toasted with butter. Oh, so good. So all those things. So I started really focusing on clarity and my mentalness. And so for me, I was reading about different things. They say you can strength train, you can do this and change your diet. And I was like counting this, counting that. I'm like, no, let's get the easiest thing to do. Walk. Get walking in. So I started walking. I try to do it a lot. I try to do about 3 miles every day. That's my goal for the day. Does it always happen? No. But just getting out and walking every day. I was doing it like just once a day in about 20 minutes. That wasn't enough. Then I was doing twice a day. That's better. But I found that when I was walking like 3 times a day, because I break it up, like in the morning I take Maxine, in the afternoon I sometimes go, and then nighttime, or morning and then nighttime I'll do a long one. And so I found when I was doing that, mentally, I was a whole lot, had more clarity, more function. I slept better, and I was able to focus on things a whole lot better and with a lot more joy. You know what I mean? And so for me, that was like right there, number one. Now I walked, and I walked a lot, and I did good. I didn't really change my diet, but I mostly focused on walking. That game changer right there, because it helped me get in the right mindset. And then also reading my scripture. One of my viewers sent me I want to call it like a healing book, an inner healing book. And it was something I had done years ago. And I remember that after being first newly saved, and like work through that book. And it's a similar book. I don't think it was the same one, but very similar. And I was like, okay. And it just set me off on a great mental focus. And so going through it again, and I don't realize, wow, a lot of the negative thoughts and habits and patterns of my thinking in my head, have kind of resurfaced. So I'm going through that, which has been another huge game changer. So then that paired with walking, huge, where I feel like, okay, I can do anything. So I've been doing that consistently for a long time and not seeing any weight, but staying the same. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'm like, because my number one focus is right here, getting this taken care of, making my mental strong, because I'm reading different women and belong to a lot of little groups online for menopause and perimenopause, and like the number one complaint is the way they're thinking. And I mean, obviously they have some body symptoms, but mostly it's just right here. And I'm like, I can see that, because it's like your body's going through those hormonal shifts and changes. And so, then they go on the therapy, and then they're up and down, they're this and that. And it's like, okay, how can we make this even, Lord? And so for me, it's the walking. I found when I don't, like sometimes the weekends come and maybe it's a little gloomy, overcast, or I'm busy doing something else, and I don't get to walk, and I find myself just sitting because I deserve to sit. I worked all week. I'm tired. I should do this. Okay. Yeah, I can justify that. And then I do. And I realize that I just start scrolling or whatever, wasting time on my phone, and I go, wow, I feel really yucky. Physically, mentally, all of that. And so I realized I don't want to do that anymore. So then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and keep walking. And so trying to keep that, I find that is huge for me. So for me, number one is getting your mind in the right space, mentally for all things, some healing in there. Get you some healing. That's the most important thing, healing things in your life. And then the walking to have that clarity has been amazing. Okay, so those were great things for me. Something else I always did is I would have coffee in the afternoon. Like I have my coffee in the morning, usually black coffee, and then in the afternoon I would be getting like not sugary super coffee, but like coffee with creamer in it, and I drank that. Okay, so then I started drinking a Red Bull occasionally. I know, energy drink's not good. Small can, still not justifying, but saying I would have that, and it would keep me going for the day. I was doing that a lot kind of in the beginning of my walking phase because I'm like, okay, I get up at 5, it'll keep me going until 10 o'clock because that's how my day was. And so, and that was a point where I was like, I can't be drinking these every day or every other day. That's not good. So I stopped, and then I was like, but I like to have a drink in the afternoon, like especially if I go in the pool or something, like as a treat. So what I switched to was the juicing thing. I was buying that green juice at Sam's Club. And for me, I was like, okay, that's like a treat. I feel like I'm getting something without having sugary coffee, without having the energy spike. And I found that, you know what, drinking that, I like have the same amount of energy until 10 o'clock at night as I would if I had a Red Bull or a coffee. So I started doing my own juicing, and it's great to get all those vitamins and dark green leafy vegetables in there, and it also helps me just to feel good. So that kind of changed my afternoon drink. So the morning I have my black coffee, and it's like, okay, I want something sweet, I want a treat. What's my treat gonna be? You know what I mean? Not that you even deserve a treat. Some days that I don't, and I just have water. But if I do that, it's like it's replaced those needs for those. So now I don't even take an energy drink, even getting coffee. I'm like, the girls once in a while will bring me a coffee, or I can't even say I've had one in a little while. I probably have, but I just don't know when. And so it's not like I go, when I'm out, I don't go, oh, let me go to Tim Hortons and get me a coffee, or let me go to Starbucks and get one, even though I could. It's just not on the radar anymore. So I'm thankful for that. So getting that in the afternoon. So then what I've done for weight loss that I found to be effective for me at this time is, because I tried everything. I tried counting calories with ChatGPT. Putting down the food I ate every day and seeing what I can do. As long as I was in a calorie deficient, you would lose. That to me is so much work, so much work. I do not have time for that. So I was like, what can I do? So I thought, you know what? The fasting thing I know works well for people. So I'm like, let me try that. That for me works. So I do about a 4 to 5 hour window of eating in my day. That's what I do. So I drink black coffee in the morning. There's been times where I get creamer and I start drinking creamer, and I drink it for a little few days, and I'm like, yuck, I just don't like how that makes me feel. I just don't like the milk part of it. So black coffee it is, and I do good. So I usually have 1 or 2 cups of that in the morning, sometimes just 1. And then I try to drink my water. I put like a tea bag in it, a flavored tea bag like strawberry hibiscus I have right now. And I drink that in the morning as well, my water bottle. And then by the afternoon, usually it depends. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2. It just depends on the day and what I'm going to do. Sometimes it's 3. I get my little green juice bottle, and I drink that as my first breaking fast for the day. And so that would be the only thing I would have for food sustenance in my body until then. Now, mind you, I struggled before because I thought these people fast, and they fast. This is when I first started. It's a little tough in the beginning. I thought, I get up at 5 in the morning. I'm like, there's no physical way I can wait until 3 in the afternoon and eat. That's a long time. I'm like, surely these people sleep in. That's why they're able to wait longer for their fast. And I'm like, stop using an excuse. So for the first little while, sometimes I would be really hungry in the morning, and I would make an egg. And I didn't feel bad about it. I just ate it. So I just thought, okay, maybe I'm just hungry. I need some protein. So instead of something bad to eat, I would fry a couple eggs and eat that and go, okay. And then sometimes I would just feel yuck after eating it, and I went, wow, maybe I really didn't need it. So the next day, I would get back on the 4-hour window in the afternoon. So don't be so rigid in the beginning. So anyways, let's go back to green juice. Green juice about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Now, if I'm really hungry, like feeling more food right then, and I'm not really ready for my 1 meal a day, I'll get a rice cake, and I put hummus on it. And sometimes I have cucumbers on there. I'll put some sprouts on there, tomatoes on there, sometimes some sweet chili sauce, depending on what I have, or everything, bagel topping, whatever I have. And I'll eat that. And then that like fills me up too. Or I would grab a handful of nuts. I'm trying to stay away from those. And I did a lot of those in the beginning. The last couple months, you saw me buying the big container of nuts, and I'd eat those, and I'd love them. But you don't realize how many calories are in a handful. And so I would like a lot of them. So I tried to wean that out. I just craved the salty part of it. And so I just had to wean myself off and do a little bit different. So that was one thing I was doing, vegetables, keeping it that way. And so that was one of my meals. And then usually about an hour and a half later, I would have I say 1 meal a day, but it's not technically 1 meal a day because I did have the hummus and rice cakes would be like my meal. Now, for the most part, I was trying to focus on something that I like that I could enjoy and eat over and over. I like burger patties, and so I'll cook a lot of burger patties, make like a little, I'd stay away from gluten, stay away from bread, So I would do like a lettuce bun, fill it all up with toppings, bacon, and all the yummy stuff, and eat that. That was very good. I like doing my chicken bowls, where you have the fajita chicken meat. Sometimes I put a little bit of rice in there with black beans and corn, sweet potato, and I even sometimes would do a couple tortilla chips with salsa. That's yummy that way. Right now I just made yesterday the, I want to say a burger salad. Is that good? Basically lettuce and the veggies. And I put a couple hard-boiled eggs in there, hamburger, bacon, avocado, and tomato, and that's good. I don't even put dressing on it anymore, which is not, I didn't put cheese in it either. And so that was very filling and good. And so then I would do that and I'd be full. And then I'd be done. I'd be done eating about 5, sometimes 6 o'clock, depending on when I started. And then I don't eat anymore until the next day in the afternoon. Now, have I always done very specific with that? No. Sometimes I'll come home. I might grab a little handful of snack mix and have a little bit of that. The other day, the kids and I were playing Uno, and they had a bowl of snack mix. I'm like, I'm gonna have a bowl of snack mix. So I got a bowl of snack mix and had it. That was fine. Some days, my kids, Autumn wanted to buy me for Mother's Day a smoothie, a tropical smoothie, and I was like, and it was in the morning, and I was like, all right, Lord, I don't want to deny a blessing. So I got a smoothie in the morning. I drank it. And I also remember on Mother's Day, I got the one from Detweiler's, their smoothie. But what I noticed when I drank those fruit things in the morning, very sugary. And I just got a headache and didn't feel amazing. Not that it didn't taste good, it just didn't feel good. So I go, okay, I would wait till the afternoon for that. And then something else, I bought a lot of fruit, like watermelons and mangoes and all that stuff. So I was making a big bowl of fruit when I was having my one meal a day. So for my snack, I would just get this huge bowl of fruit, thinking fruit is good for you. It's great. I'm gonna have a big bowl. It's great. No, that bloated me right up, that big bowl of fruit. And I went, wow, that was not good. And then I didn't lose weight that day. So when I do that window and I stay good with it, I can lose a pound a day. Me personally, if I stick with it. Do I always? No. I've taken, my first 10 pounds have taken over 20 days for me, because we had, what do we have this month? I had treats for my kids. I had, then we have Mother's Day or Father's Day. What was the holiday? Mother's Day, wasn't it? Mother's Day, whatever it was. We had little special days, and I'm like, gotta be careful. You know, Greg brought home some ice cream the other day, so I had ice cream, and I haven't had dairy in a while. And so things like that. I'm still in normal everyday life with teens. My kids want to go out and get things, and so I don't like gorge on things, but I might go, okay, I might have this today, or I might enjoy a coffee today, drink, you know, or get a smoothie with the kids. So I don't stay very rigid, but I find that if I can stay rigid, the weight comes off. So for me, that's motivation enough, because the frustration comes when you are down and then you go back up, you go down. It's like a constant cycle. So for me personally, that first 10 pounds was harder than probably the next ones are going to be. That's just my story from what I remember from before too, because it's all about getting that momentum started and going. So number one, get your mental state in a good state. Work on some inner healing. Get yourself, there's tons of books out there, all that stuff. I got that one I can recommend for you. It's amazing. But work through it because you want to get better. And then start walking, move your body. It would be, I think my 3 miles would be about 10,000 steps is what they recommend. And then get your window of when you're going to eat, no matter what you're going to eat, whatever you want, whatever you have. I don't always just stick to veggies and protein. Sometimes I don't really eat a lot of pasta. I don't really eat a lot of bread, but sometimes when I make my homemade bread, I like homemade bread toasted with butter. I like that. So I might say, you know what? I'm gonna toast some bread and eat it. Now, better than having 5 pieces like I may have done in the past. So I go, you know what? Let me just have a piece. And sometimes I want 2, I'll get 2. And so, but what I found to keep my cravings down is definitely, I know the push is for protein. That is a big health, I don't want to say gimmick, but the push right now, where years ago it was pushing vitamins and supplements. Years ago it was pushing the Atkins diet. Years ago it was pushing, I mean, they change all the time. Right? So I understand the more protein thing, but I don't make it such a focus on everything. You know what I mean? Like I see when I don't have a lot of protein, I do get more hungry and I do want to snack more. So I understand the truth of it. So for me, I'll go, okay, make sure I get some kind of meat in there. For protein, throw a couple eggs in there. That's always a good thing. Hummus is good for me. I never want to, and it's not that I never will, but I feel like you shouldn't have to go out there and spend a lot of money on specialty foods and specialty things. Now, I do make my own green juice because I enjoy that for a treat. For me, it'd be like eating a bunch of vegetables and lettuce and salady stuff. I don't have to. It's in a juice. So I like that. If I didn't have that, I would just force myself to get used to water, or like lemon water, or, something with water with a little tea bag in it into the afternoon. But that's something that I do, but I don't go out and get like the protein shakes and protein bites and this and that, 'cause it's got massive protein in it. I just go, okay, let me eat enough so I feel good. You know what I mean? And so nothing wrong with that. Maybe that's something that somebody needs to do to focus and lose weight, and that's a great thing. I'm just talking for myself. I feel like, personally, I should be able to do it with what I have. You know what I mean? So yeah, steaks would be great every single night. Yeah, that'd be awesome to have a steak, but I can't afford steaks every night because I got like kids to take care of and feed. So what can I do? Hamburger patties. Let me cook some hamburger patties. That's a good thing. Chicken. Let me cook some chicken. I can do that. Sometimes it's even kielbasa. I know that's not great, but I can do that. Eggs. Those are cheap. I can do that. Hummus. That's not too expensive. I can do that. Peanut butter, okay? Sometimes I'll do peanut butter and jelly because I crave a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and so I'm like, I can do that. So trying to stay in the normal things of food versus going out and paying a lot of money and trying chips that are protein and this because it's protein. I don't know. I feel like you just got to get rid of wanting to snack on all that stuff instead of having it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love sweet potato chips. You see me in the store every time I walk by them, I'm like, oh, sweet potato chips. But right now I'm in that mindset of, you know what? If I deny myself right now, eventually I can buy that bag of chips. I remember that was something else I told myself before when I lost weight, back in the day after having babies. I remember thinking, okay, I can go to the store at any time. And even right now, I can go to the store at any time and in 2 minutes have any kind of snack or treat that I want. At any time, because I live much closer. Before I had to drive a little bit longer, but I have to go, you know what? I can go to the store and buy that bag of Doritos. That was what I liked back then, at any time. So even right now, after I'm done and where I'm happy with my weight, I can go to the store and get those sweet potato chips and eat them. Or even if I got them right now and have a small amount. But right now I'm like, I want to kind of deny myself those things until I get to a happy. It's almost like you're what do I say? I'm suffering for my overeating and not losing weight. You know what I mean? So I always say I got a little repentance to do. Greg will be like, do you want to get this, or do you want me to get you, a Coke from Circle K, which we used to get and things like that, or get a Tim Hortons? And I'm like, no, I got a little suffering to do. I got a little repentance to do for my weight gain. So that's what I say. And obviously I'm just being sarcastic about it, but that's what I mean. It's just okay, for a little bit, it's just a time right now. It's just a time. And so when we go out, he's like, can I get you this? And I'm like, you know what? No. But in 6 months, like even Mother's Day, I told the kids, because we usually get snacks for everybody, we do treats. And I said to them, please don't buy any treats. I know you want to. I said, but please don't. I said, in 6 months from now, you can buy me treats. I said, but right now I'm really trying to work and focus on losing weight. So they got flowers instead, which was beautiful. And so I said the same thing to Greg. He's like, well, do you want this? And I said, no, but in 6 months from now, yeah, I'll enjoy a pub sub with you again from Publix. Those are really good. And so, so never say never again, but just later at the time when it's ready. So I'm trying to think of anything else, but I feel like that right there is good for me. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not very rigid like that window. Like last night I ate early. I think I started at 1 and I ate until 3:30. And I had my drink, my hummus and rice cakes, and then I had my salad, and then we were out swimming, and then I had left. And I felt very full and very good for the whole night. Just drank a lot of water because I was walking. And then when I got home, the kids started pulling out food. But I was still pretty full, but they had that snack mix bin. That's so good. So I opened it up and I grabbed a handful of salty snacks out, and I ate those. And it was no big deal. It wasn't like a whole bunch. In my head, I was like, ooh, I should go get a big bowl. But at any time, I can get a big bowl later on. And so I'm like, no, I'll just do a handful. And you know what? I was satisfied and good. And still got up this morning, okay, that weight came down again. And so that has been my motivation, my key is for me personally. So the first 10 pounds, definitely the hardest, because I feel like you got to get in that whole mindset of you're ready, because you got to think to yourself and just look at yourself and go, okay, what, and it's not so much about like having bikini bod or any of that, but it was more, I need to function well. I need to be able to do what I got to do for my business. I got to be able to do what I got to do for my kids every day. I got to be able to feel good every day without a stimulant, like not taking something to hype me up or pump me up for the day, or take these vitamins or these supplements so that I can function for my day. It's like, how can I go about this restoring the things the enemy has stolen and restoring what God has for me naturally in my days? You know what I mean? this is me personally. So if I needed something more, I would eat something more of that has a lot of that vitamin in there. If I'm feeling I'm lapsed, and I don't even know because I don't go to the doctors to get my blood test or any kind of level check. That's just not me. But I just know what makes me feel good. I see when if I'm extra hungry, okay, fry an egg and have an egg. That's a good thing. But if I'm seeing there that I'm just tired and sitting around and wanting to eat salty things and things that are not good for me, I'm like, okay, something else is wrong. What do I need to fix? And normally it's just getting up, getting off my phone and going for a walk. Getting out, going for a swim, listening to some worship music. It's usually the mental and just changing your thought patterns for me personally. So that have been my approach. Now, I'm not a doctor. I have no medical anything. I'm just sharing me as a 50-year-old woman who's had 10 kids, and this is my stage in life. So I know lots of people do different videos. Lots of people share different stories. And then sometimes you can get down on yourself. And I always got hard on myself because I'm like, these women, they're losing weight so fast, they're exercising, they're going to the gym, they're doing all these things, and I have to remember, you know what? What is their life like at home? Is their kids gone out of the house? Usually at 50, the kids are gone, usually. There's nobody to take care of, or they're teenagers, or they can just leave because they can go work out at the gym all the time. Their life is different. They don't have to work full time, or maybe they do, but they got different things, and maybe their husband doesn't need them to do things, or you never can compare yourself to a person and what they're doing. It's great to see people's weight loss journeys. They do it, they work out, they do all these things. I think that's awesome. Me personally, I can't go to the gym every day. My life is still driving teenagers to work and to events and things that they're doing. We're still taking them to Culver's. We're still taking them to Chick-fil-A. We're still having normal pizza nights. We're still in that life of that kind of living. You know what I mean? Where most people, they're out of it. And then also I have to, work and get, life that way. Providing, and then I also have to homeschool them, and I also, have to do things that I have to take care of the household, all those things. So no one ever has your life, and I know that people don't have my life, and I know people don't have your life. Everybody's at a different thing. So when you see people in weight loss videos, you think, oh, that looks great, that seems so easy, but you got to make it your own and what's good for you. You know what I mean? So for me, as a stay-at-home mom who's got 4 teenagers at home, and it's got to be the sole responsibility for doing things and also making income and taking care of my home, those kind of things. It's like, this is what's worked for me, where it's not costing me anything. It's actually making me feel more productive, and it excites me to lose it. And it's been because of a book, walking, and doing my little fasting window in my days. So again, nothing specific on things. So I've kind of cut out dairy. I don't really drink dairy. Sometimes I'll put cheese on something, not a ton, but a little bit of cheese. I think anything else. And I try to cut out the gluten stuff. Do I completely? No. I will gladly have a piece of bread that I make. Sometimes I have a peanut butter and jelly. I'll grab a snack mix thing, but those were things that I kind of stay away from. Not like specific, like all the time, but I kind of make it most about vegetables and the meat. That's just for me personally. Beans, I like that way. So it doesn't mean I won't have a treat, doesn't mean I won't have that, but that's just kind of where I'm at. And so then I've lost 10 and I feel good. So I'm like, all right. So, and then another thing is rewarding yourself somehow. So for me, I've gotten clothes. You've seen me go thrifting in a menopausal body. And I share that, and I'm happy to share that because I know women are normal, and I know women go through the same thing like me. I know there's ladies at 50 that have been 30 pounds lighter, and then they gain it in a few years. And that happens to everybody. I remember my mom going through that. I remember seeing friends' moms go through it. So I know this is all normal. So for me, I'm like, okay, I went shopping. The clothes are a little tight, doesn't fit, and it's depressing. It's hard. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to work really hard. I got to take in a lot of my dresses under the armpits because they were too big. And so now I'm like, okay, if I can keep going and lose some more pounds, then I'll kind of reward myself and go get a couple new dresses and things that that fit. That's for me personally. That's how I would reward myself, because I like to thrift and I like to look. So I hope in a few weeks, probably in a couple weeks, I'll get to go when I hit that certain weight, and I'll go and reward myself by shopping and picking out a couple dresses. So that's a good thing to look forward to for me. So, all right, is that a lot of chit-chatting? That's a lot of chit-chatting. So hopefully it encouraged you in weight loss and maybe some helpful tips for yourself. There's a ton of videos out there in menopause and levels and insulin levels and all this and all that. I mean, it can get overwhelming. Like, I think like even fasting, that can become overwhelming once you start looking into it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So for me, the simple way is find a window. 4-hour window, 4-hour window, 5-hour window. Got to do 6-hour window. Go ahead. So for me, 4 or 5-hour window is good for me. In that window, eat. Sometimes I'll have my juice, I'll have a snack. Sometimes an hour later, I eat my dinner. And if it's early, that's okay. But I eat enough where I feel good and full, and I'm good. And I found that if I throw enough protein in there, like some kind of meat, like chicken, beef, hamburger, beans, hummus, eggs, whatever you got in there, that's cheap stuff. That's why I'm saying that it keeps me sustained through until the next day. And if I wake up in the morning and I'm starving for whatever reason, I go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna fry a couple eggs and I'm gonna eat these eggs this morning, and that's okay. And then it usually takes me longer through the day to eat, and I might just have a dinner. So I just do a bigger window, but it still works. I might not lose a pound. I may lose a pound. It just depends on my body that day. And if I don't, then the next day, usually I can sustain until the afternoon. So whatever works. And then in the morning, I just drink black coffee, tea, or water. That's it for during that time. If you add creamer, I found that I don't lose weight. And so when I just have black, it works. And it's just like everything. You get used to anything. Tasting coffee plain is what dirt. It doesn't. I remember being pregnant and giving up coffee right away just because my body rejected it. And then when I started drinking again, I'm like, wow, you got to get used to drinking coffee. Coffee is basically dirt. So I think you can get used to anything. I know you can. It just takes a little initiative to do things. So you can, and if you need to, the energy drinks, I was liking a Red Bull. So I would have that every day. So then I went on a fast for a week, and it was to purge myself from, I was eating a lot of breads, a lot of gluten, and I was just loving carbs. I loved it. And so I just wanted to break that cycle. And so I did. And I did that week of not eating anything. I had like a cup of coffee, sometimes half a cup of coffee, and just water. And that's all I focused on. And I walked. I didn't walk as much, but still walked. And I still functioned for my day, did everything I needed to do. It's just the exercise wasn't as intense as I normally do because you don't have as much energy. And so for me, that was good to get off those and to not that you had to have them every day, but it wasn't like, it was more like, okay, I don't need those for my day. Look I'm not even eating food, and I'm still able to function as a normal person every single day. So I realized that really isn't helping me like I think it is. And the same thing with the carbs. It just fulfilled an immediate need and satisfied the need of wanting something comforting. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I still feel I feel actually better not having anything. You know what I mean? So it just gets that mindset rolling on things. So I hope this was encouraging for anyone struggling with weight loss at around 50 years old, going through perimenopause. And my struggle is during my time of the month, which I'll be coming up on it. And that'll be after my first pounds of losing, where I'm like, okay, I have to kind of mentally prepare a little bit. So then I go, okay, I got to really try to make sure I keep my walking in. I need to make sure that I get a lot of protein in so that I'm not starving, and don't want to eat a bunch of carbs because that's what I crave during my time of the month, because I don't want to go up too much and then have to work my way back down. You know what I mean? So we'll have another update when we go through a few more pounds of things. But for now, first 10, I think, are the hardest. I really, really do. Unless you are like a sugaraholic and you love soda, because if you just give up soda and just start drinking water, you probably can drop some weight just from just that principle alone. So it just depends you and your situation, your days. So, okay, lots of talking. Next thing, look, now she's a great dog being inside. Look at her. She's like, oh, mommy, I'm so tired. Okay, so we're gonna go in the kitchen here and I gotta make some food for the day. Very simple, easy day here. So you ready? All right, let's go. All right, into the kitchen we go. I gotta clean up in here too, but let's, one thing I'm gonna make, I looked in my freezer. I have guamkis. Greg said he needed guamkis this week, so guamkis right here. And I saved some Italian sausage, and I've got a jar and a half of sauerkraut. So I'm gonna just put it in my slow cooker here and cook it. He likes this. It's a family favorite, and it's pretty good. You know what? Just put them in solid, and eventually they'll come apart, and we can separate them in there. Okay, that will cook, and then I will. I can smush it down. I can cut the sausage in there. So I've got. Look at my refrigerator. We still have like a little bit of a couple meals left, and I've got potato soup here they ate last night. I'm gonna put this in a container so that I can we can do like leftovers for lunch. I'll try to get them to eat leftovers for lunch, and then we'll do I'm thinking nasi goreng rice for dinner tonight because they like that. Oh wait, let me look. Yes, they like this right here with kielbasa, rice, and that. So let me get a container for my soup. Let me wash my dishes here in the kitchen. Let me wipe my stuff off real quick. I gotta run to the freezer and get some peas and carrots. Okay, I'm small size and we're gonna make the nasi goreng rice, but we're just gonna do 1 packet. Usually I do 2, but we'll see. We'll see how flavorful it is. So I'm just gonna cut this and like dice it so I can have it for to saute with the peas and carrots. Does anybody else love easy days? I like making food, but there's not much to make, so Greg's will be done. I have mine already made. This will be for the kids. So I'm just gonna saute this. And then the rice will cook over here, and we'll, after it steams, you add it to it. It's really good. Start with green onions. The kids like sweet chili sauce, and it's good. That's a good Thursday. All right, this is so simple. Just add the rice to this. Okay, Maddie agreed. It tastes like chewy rice, so we're gonna add another pack. All right, had to come outside because the kids are in there. So what I'm doing, I'm done for filming today because what I'm doing now is I have to do school with my kids. I gotta edit. I got some Bible videos to edit. Got some emails and things to take care of, and then this afternoon do some running and that, and then it's a whole day. It's a busy day around here, but I've got food made. There's Maxine. I'm leaving her in the house. We've got the guam peas for Greg. Let that cook. I'll cut up the sausage. The only other thing I have to do is shred a cucumber. I don't like doing that, but I will do it. Like do a real thin slice of it. I'll let it sit with some salt, and then we'll put sour cream in it and make a cucumber salad. And then that'll be his meal for the next few days. I'll have my salad. Kids will have nasi goreng. They love it. We'll eat up the leftovers. It's a good Thursday. So keep with it, keep focused, keep going. So you have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and come back tomorrow and we'll do life. I know, we'll do some life, make some food. So, all right, I'll see ya. Bye.